Good evening, good evening, good evening. From the Channel 9 studio, this is Sports Chat with Mr. 33. I am he, Mr. 33. First and foremost, let me just say this. I don't know what happened Friday. I did a live Friday. And then I tried to see if I could see my live and I can't find it. But I did do a live Friday, so, you know. But tonight we're going to talk about the NBA. We'll start it in the NBA as the official first round of the division of the NBA playoffs is over with. Okay, what up, though? My 33 brother up in the building. BDB, how you feeling? How you living? What's going on with you? But we'll start tonight. Well, the weekend was full of the game sevens. We had yesterday we had Boston versus Philly, and while most people will say it was a upset as the Philadelphia 76ers advanced in Game 7 in Boston. But we'll talk about that in a minute. But tonight let me just go on. That's crazy because I like both of those teams too, but don't tell nobody. But let's go ahead and just check out what happened tonight in or this afternoon in the NBA. We'll start first in the 3-1-3 as that was the first game of the day as the number 8 Orlando Magic coming into today's game with a 3-2 lead, or it was tied at 3-all, but they had a 3-1 lead going into this weekend and Game 7 as in Detroit, as Detroit handled their business in Orlando and brought it back home. And with that being said, and they started off kind of slow today, but the Detroit Pistons do advance, and they will be they go on and to advance with a 116, the 94 victory. As I said, Detroit they started off kind of, it was back and forth, but once they got those engines revved up, they took off. Big game, of course, by Cade Cunningham with 32 points. Paolo Banchero was matching them point for point. Only problem was Paolo didn't have no help at all. He was just doing all this by himself. As we go ahead and look at the stats, we see Paolo had 38 on 14 and 25 shooting. He came to play. Like I said, now look at the rest of the stats. You got Wendell Carter with 13, Desmond Bain with 16, shooting 5 of 10, but ain't nobody else coming to play with him. Coming off the bench was Anthony Black to and look, there's only two bench players that scored. You cannot win a game with only two bench players that's scoring. That's only 7 people playing and producing points. Would you see Detroit stats when you got Tobias Harris at 30 points? Tobias Harris very easily saved this Piston team as he came through and played well in the entire series. But he showed up today as well. 11 of 18 shooting. Uh, Cade Cunningham, as I said, 32 points, 10 of 18, 12 assists. Uh, Duran had 15, and we see Denise Jenkins came off the bench for 16 points to lead the Pistons bench squad. So with that, we got the number 1 seed advancing, and who will they be playing? They will be playing the number 4 seed in the Houston. I said the Houston Rockets. I'm bugging y'all. The Cleveland Cavs. I said the Houston Rockets. Ain't that crazy? As Cleveland uh, came back and took care of business at home against the Toronto Raptors, 114 to 112. Uh, it was Toronto holding the lead at halftime, or being holding it down till the half, and then the second half Cleveland just did what they had to do. They tried to make it close at the end, but it wasn't enough. Uh, Scotty Barnes had 24 for the Raptors. R.J. Barrett had 23, but he shot 9 of 25. Jamal Shed had 14. Jacoby Walter had 13. But once again, when you don't have nothing coming off that bench, you don't really get to do nothing. You got the lead scorer off the bench is Colin Murray Boyles with 8 points, and he only took 5 shots. I don't know how the hell you gonna win like that in a pivotal game 7, because that means you got to run your starters raggedy. And when you look, and when you look at what Cleveland had, uh, like I said, you had Donovan Mitchell with 22. You had Jared Allen with 22, but Jared had 11 boards, 22 and 11. Uh, James Harden had 18 of 3 and 9 shooting, but he was going to that foul line, which gives him that opportunity to continue to build up points. He had 6 rebounds. I guess that helps in the board. Evan Mobley only had 13. But look at the difference, right? Look at the bench of the Cavs. You got Strus with 12. You got Merrill with 13. Uh, that's 25 points coming off the bench. And what we just saw from Toronto, it was like absolutely nothing. But in fairness to Toronto, they finished out the 5, 6, 7 without Brandon Ingram. I think that hurt them very much. And when you take out a cog in your system, you start to break down. And I think that's what happened with Toronto. You know what I mean? Like they had the little lucky bounce in Game 6 to send this to the Game 7, but in the end, it was all Cleveland, and Cleveland gets the opportunity to play Detroit. And we're gonna go ahead and look at the brackets as, like I said, the first round is ending. For those of you who's coming in, forgive me. Welcome in. This is Sports Chat with Mr. 33. I am Mr. 33, and I'm just going over scores and stats from today's game. Uh, when you see this, you see all the seeds are set. The 1-4 in the Eastern Conference. Detroit will be playing Cleveland in Detroit. I believe that's Tuesday. The Knickerbockers going up against the 76ers on Monday, as well as the Spurs and T-Wolves will start their game ones tomorrow. Yeah, still before 12. So tomorrow, and then the Lakers and Thunder will be playing May 5th, which is on a Tuesday. Okay. So now let me go back to the Philly game. Miles _ what's happening? How you feeling? What's going on? Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. Pervesi, welcome in, welcome in. Okay. So this is what's going on. We started. I'm going back to this Philly game because the Game 7 it missed a person in the game, and it was Jason Tatum. Now Jason Tatum got injured in Game 6. He hurt his knee, and for me personally, I feel that knee injury scared him, and it scared him to where if he thought he was if in his mind, he thought he was going to tear his MC. This is just my opinion. This is my opinion alone. The opinion that I am expressing belongs to Mr. 33, not nobody else, not anybody that's affiliated with the channel, but me, right? And because of that, I think he sat out Game 7. And we see how vital he was needed in Game 7. I understand that they shot horribly from 3, but Jason Tatum adds a he's a key part to the Celtics dynamic. And I understand that he didn't play most of the season, and I understand that he didn't come through until the end of the season, and they was doing well. But once they added him to the lineup, it was a different thing. It was like not the Celtics of old, because they're missing Drew Holiday and people like that. But the 1-2 punch of Tatum and Brown, it gives that Celtic team a little oomph, and it makes somebody come off the bench, or Peyton Pritchard, or somebody of that nature. You can come off the bench and add fuel to the fire. But I think because he rushed himself back, and I think a lot of that is our fault. And I'm not big media. I I'm saying us as fans, right? And we're feeding and we're fueling the fire about that conversation about who was better, Jason Tatum or Jalen Brown. And when you have that conversation and somebody's in the background and they're injured and they see their teammate doing well and the team is doing well without them, that's going to fuel the fire for that person to want to come back early, right? And he, like, we all thought he wasn't coming back to next year, but he came back in March, and he started playing basketball. He was looking good, but I'm saying in the mind is something different, right? You could, like, in the NFL, we saw what Aaron Rodgers did. Maybe because he's 40 something years old, and it took him a little longer to get over his torn Achilles, and you know. But Jason Tatum, he came and proved the point that you can get back and you could play. But once you do a leg injury, I'm telling you, the mentality of that injury of a torn Achilles will harm you more than it'll help you, because that's what really sat him out. And I'm saying to myself, Jason Tatum, why are you even worried about this? I ain't counting your pockets, but you got $300 million to say that you a top tier guy on this team. They didn't try to get rid of you. They ain't try to do nothing. Even though Jalen Brown stepped up and was the guy in your championship run, and even though Jalen Brown was an all-star this year, and even though Jalen Brown got this team for the most part, to the second team, as they was battling the Knicks, second and third, all throughout the season, right? I just felt that he could have gave himself a little bit more time. That summertime, that July, August, September run would have been more essential for him to get his mind into the right place, for where, I don't get to worry about that. We have to remember he came back for a month, and as soon as that injury popped up, hey, I can't go. I'm sorry, I can't go. They said it was a calf. And if we remember what happened with Kevin Durant, it was a calf muscle before his Achilles tore in the 2019 finals, whereas the Warriors was going for a three-peat, but it tore. You see what I mean? Like, once you tear a muscle in the leg, you overcompensate, and once you overcompensate, the next thing to go is the Achilles. Tatum last year, same thing. Tyrese Halliburton, same thing. Uh, that's why they was worried about. That's why they worry about J Dub on the Thunder now, because his calves and his legs is going through, and they may be fearing the same thing. That's why they giving them time. Then listen, take your time. We got SGA. Take your time. We can wait for you to come back, and they're in the run. They're trying to repeat. And this is why you have to understand, if your body telling you to sit down, sit down. Stop listening to the media. You know what I mean? Stop listening to what ESPN is saying, or NBC or Prime. All of these people, the Hall of Famers. Don't let them criticize you. Don't let that get into your mind to where, listen, man, I'm coming back when I'm ready to come back. That's one thing that they don't give Kawhi Leonard enough credit for. Even if he's drawing, if he's delaying his comeback, and he could have been well, he's coming back at his time, his pace. And when he come back on his time and his pace, he's a very difficult man to stop. That's why he can still be, considered a premier player in the NBA when healthy. Joel Embiid. Look at Joel Embiid. He's playing healthy. Now, we saw in Game 7, they was pushing people into his knee. So now he got to run around gingerly and things like that. But he's still playing. And we seen when he came back, that whole series took a shift in in the 76ers way. Why? Because they don't have an answer for Joel Embiid. So you got to sit back and really pay attention to your body. If you know you can do it, you do it. Don't just do it because you want your teammate. You want to help the teammates and things like that. Because while you injured, the teammates are still going. While you injured, life is still going on. You in rehab, but yet you ain't doing nothing to get yourself together and join that team. Take your time. So I think now that Jason Tatum has the opportunity to sit back and think about, you know, the decisions that he gotta make, he got enough time to say, you know what, I got May, June, July, August, September to get myself together. You don't gotta jump back out there and go play the Knicks in this next round. That's what the 76ers gotta do. But he needs to understand, if you're not ready, don't come out there because, peer pressure or whatever the case may be. Now, like I said, this is just my opinion. I just think that us having these conversations is what made him come back super duper early. He saw the success of the Celtics. They was rising. They started off slow. They started building. And they got to the second round. I mean, they got to the second seed. He like, I got to be a part of this. We might win a championship. And if I'm 50% of myself, we can win a championship. Nah, we try to tell you all the time, we need all of an individual, right? 100% of a person can make us a better person. Not half of us, not 2/3 of us. A whole you makes us better. Because if you get injured, now we got to go backwards. Now we got to start over. Now we got to, all right, Peyton Pritchard, you got to start now. We ain't got nobody coming off the bench. We don't got Vucevic come off the bench and be the 6th or 7th player. We got to slow our bench down because we're adding you and now you're injured, so now we depleting our bench. So that is something that I really, really wanted to talk about because it's don't get me wrong, in the NBA, I know, people always say, they don't listen to the media, they don't listen to the critics. I think at that particular time though, I think Jason Tatum, I think he wanted to more than prove that he was ready. He wanted to prove a point that with me we can do bigger and better things. And because of that, I think he hurt the Celtics' chances of advancing in this round. And I think that's what got them out of here. But speaking of that, right, as we look at the playoff, the brackets, I'm going to go with the Knicks. I'm going with the Knicks in 7, and I know that's a homer pick. I just think that in that series, I think the key in the Knicks series is going to be Mitchell Robinson. How well can he defend? how well can he keep Joel Embiid off balance? Cat is still going to be an X factor because I don't care who they put on Cat. There's nobody to guard Cat. Joel Embiid can't guard Cat. We know Drummond, he can't guard Cat. So he's going to be the key. And also, I would like to see, how are they going to guard Tyrese Maxey, right? I don't think Paul George is going to be an X factor because anytime I watch Paul George, it's always the most key part of a series. He don't show up. He's like, to me, he's like a James Harden. He don't show up when it's time to show up. And that's down the line. I know people call him playoff P, but there's not much. It's more bad playoff P than good playoff P, in my opinion. So I'm not considering him. But who are they going to put on Tyrese Maxey? Because Tyrese Maxey, he's gonna get buckets, and that's why I'm giving this a 7-game series. I just think the Knicks have a better roster. I think Mike Brown he utilizes his bench a whole lot differently than what they used to. 7-8 man roster, they'll go 10, 11 deep, and then they got and also an X factor will be VJ Edgecombe. If he start doing what he did in Game 7, he can help them advance. But I'm just going with the Knicks in 7 because I just think they got more pieces to their puzzle than the Sixers with their puzzle. Looking at the Cavs in Detroit, now one would say it's very easily, it's easily the Pistons because they're the one seed. But I think this is going to be a difficult matchup for them as well because you got guard play, and I don't care what you say. I don't think Duncan Robinson or anybody like that is going to be able to hold Donovan Mitchell. Now, Cade, if they put Cade on Donovan Mitchell, then I'm expecting James Harden to give them at least 2 games. And then if they play their twin towers of Allen and Mobley, that means Stewart will have to come in. Now, Stewart plays big as he's known to do. Like if he gets 10 and 10 double doubles and things like that, I think Detroit will win in 6. But I wouldn't be surprised if Cleveland wins in 7. I wouldn't be surprised if that happens. But if I'm gonna go with Detroit in 6, just because uh, I just think Cade. I mean, they'll probably put Dean Wade or somebody like that on Cade, but I don't think it's gonna matter. And if they can get another piece of scoring, if Duncan Robinson can give them 15, and Tobias Harris could continue his 19 and 8 that he averaged in the first round, then I think that'll be more than enough. And Jalen Duren has to do more than what he did in the first round. He has to, because they're going to try to get him out of there quickly, and he needs to be an offensive force so he can get somebody like a Jared Allen out of there, so it could just be Mobley and Duren instead of just uh, Allen Duren Allen and Mobley versus Durham. But I'm gonna go with Detroit in 6 over there. And I get it. I know people saying they just struggled against the Magic. The Magic is not the same as uh, the Cavs. The Cavs are more of a guard playing thing. Mobley in them, they like Mobley's the second go to guy. But if they play guard ball, it's just he'll shrink down to 3, and then Jared Allen will probably be the offensive rebounder, defensive rebounder, things like that. But like I said, I'm gonna go with Detroit in 6. In the Western Conference, I'm going with right now. I'm going with the Thunder, and I'm gonna say I'm gonna say 5. Thunder in 5. Now, if Luka come back and he plays effectively, then it'll probably extend. But right now, with no Luka and AR-15, Austin Reeves just coming back, I don't think he's ready to handle that type of guard play, that defense, and they're going to attack him defensively. Even though SGA is the only guard that you're really worried about, uh, but we gotta. This is where we're gonna see if JJ Redick is gonna be coaching the way he's supposed to be coaching. Me personally, uh, I would like to see them in a zone because I don't really fear the Thunder shooting like that. And even if they are shooting like that, it's not gonna. I don't think it's gonna be effective in that nature. Because they're gonna look for drive and kick, and SGA is not gonna be shooting 10 and 15 threes. He's gonna try to get to that foul line and pull up and shoot a jumper. Chet Holmgren, I think him and Rui will have a battle. Uh, I think they'll balance each other out. I don't. We might see LeBron break down in the end because he's getting a little tired from carrying the team in the first round. Now let's see if Luke Kennard can do what he did in the first round. I don't think he will. So that's why I'm going with the Thunder in 5. Once again, for those of you coming in, this is Sports Chat with Mr. 33. I am he, Mr. 33. And I'm just doing a little. I'm doing a little bracket breaking down of the Eastern and Western Conference. If, like I said, if you just came in, I'm going with the Knicks in 7. I'm going with Detroit in 6 in the Eastern Conference. I'm going with the Thunder in 5. Now, It is rumored for the Timberwolves that Anthony Edwards will be back by game 3. I think that hurts them. I'm going with the Spurs in 6 because even if they break even, the T Wolves get one in San Antonio. I think Game 3 will go to the Spurs as Anthony Edwards have to watch himself with that bone bruise, which looked it a little bit more serious than what they say it is. But that's the official report that he got a bone bruise in his knee, and I think it's going to take him some time to adjust. Uh, Julius Randle, I don't see him carrying this by himself. I don't see what's the kid Jade McDaniel. I don't see him doing what he did to the Nuggets. Um, I just don't see it. So I'm gonna give the Spurs 6 games to advance to the Western Conference Finals against the Thunder, and like I said, I'm going with Detroit and the Knicks to advance to the Eastern Conference Finals. Now, speaking of the Nuggets, I don't know what the hell happened. Uh, I had the Nuggets actually winning that series, but I just it was pretty much a no show. I know they're gonna say Nikola Jokic didn't do enough, which is partially true in that Rudy Gobert supposedly shut him down. He just had no help. Jamal Murray disappeared. Uh, I don't know what happened to Tim Hardaway. I don't know what happened to Braun. I don't know what happened to Bruce Brown. It was like it was just like a total no show. So I think you can expect some changes in Denver. I don't know about the coach. I heard that the coach will be staying, David Adelman, but I just think they're gonna look for some more shooters to get around Nikola Jokic, so that way when they get the shooters, Jamal Murray can actually not worry about being a 25 to 30 point scorer that they need to balance out Nikola Jokic. I think they'll try to look for 15, 15, 15, 15, and let Nikola, you know, distribute the ball a little bit as he does end the season with a triple double this year, the regular season with a triple double. But I don't. I just think they're gonna change that whole scenery around. And as far as the Rockets, I don't know what's gonna happen with Kevin Durant. Uh, I don't know if they're gonna keep him. They're gonna trade him. I have no idea. But it's going to be an interesting offseason for the Rockets to say the least. Sangoon, he didn't really show up, and they had no shooters. I think they need to really focus on a point guard. Uh, I think they need to focus on a point guard because even though the Thompson twin was doing most of the ball handling, they don't fear his shooting. Jabari Smith was a little bit inconsistent. Um, and Reed Shepard was definitely inconsistent, and he was their main guard. They gave away a couple of games to the Lakers. That 6 point 30 second situation. I know Ime Udoka was going crazy, and he wanted to just pull a little bit of hair that he had. if he if he had it, he would have pulled it out. But it's going to be a lot of changes as far as the Western Conference, especially the Rockets and the Nuggets. So y'all will stay tuned to look at that. Um, it's that's the way the playoffs go in the NBA. But shout out to those that advanced, and now we're in the second round. We're in the NBA Final Elite Eight. As you got 4 from the East and 4 from the West. So we're gonna be starting uh, tonight because it's after 12. We're gonna start to see some second round basketball. So stay tuned, and we'll have those conversations. We'll talk about those games tomorrow. The Knicks Sixers, and the Spurs T Wolves. We'll talk about them tomorrow as well. Uh, Also, we had a boxing match. Benavidez versus Gilberto Ramirez, uh, jumping up to the crew, jumping up for the belt, and it was a very dominating performance by David Benavidez. I know he said he was looking for Bivol after this and he wanted one of his dream matches that he think he can get is a Canelo Alvarez. But what he did to Ramirez Saturday night, we can pretty much say it was a clinic. He put on power, he put on hand speed, he put them hands to work. I'll just say that. And for those of you that didn't see that fight, I suggest you go ahead and catch the highlights. Even though he got the knockout in just before the ending of round 6, I'm telling y'all, if y'all go back and watch that fight, Ramirez was in trouble from the 4th round through the entire. That's what he did, and that's what I'm saying. He put on a display. It was I one could say that it was masterful. That's how bad. I mean, don't get me wrong. I saw Ramirez. He was trying to get himself. He was trying to get close and try to. He did too much because he was trying to slug with Benavidez. That wasn't his answer at all, and he paid the price. And coming into that fight, he went down once. He went down twice in the fight. He went down twice in the fight because of the hand speed of Benavidez, the power of Benavidez, and that's a dangerous man. Like, hey, that I'm gonna say that he goes to 39-0, he wins that belt, and like I said, he's trying to see if he can get the Bivol and Canelo. I forgot the third person, but he did one hell of a job Saturday night. That was a clinic. I'm sitting there like, okay, I see Ramirez. He trying to get closer. He trying to slug with him. He couldn't even slug with him because his hand speed was outrageous. Okay, I see you, Igor Perez. You said the Lakers will be the champions. Well, I'll say this for you. If Luca can come back and put some Luca magic in there and they can find a way to slow down SGA, you may have a point. Right? I don't know when Luca's coming back. AR-15 is just getting back, and LeBron, he can't. I don't think he can do it again. And if he do it again, oh my goodness, what boy they gonna be? Boy, the the GOAT talk is gonna be louder than it was for a little while now. If LeBron pulls that off, if he beats the Thunder, the GOAT talk is gonna be very, very, very loud, and no one will be able to stop that, especially knocking off the defending champions. If he can do that, the Lakers will have a good chance because I don't. Well, then they would. Nah, I'll take that back because they would have. I'm going with the Spurs to win that bracket against the T-Wolves, and I don't care who they put. I don't think they have an answer for. They don't have an answer for a Wimbyama. I don't think they do. I don't care who they. If DeAndre Ayton couldn't stop uh, Giannis to stop him for getting the championship, I don't think he don't have a chance with the Victor Wembanyama. So we'll like I said, stay tuned. We'll have that conversations about the Lakers and Thunder matchup as well as most of the other NBA semis. We'll talk about that throughout the week as well. Um, but yeah, that Benavidez, that he listen, man. I there's no words that could explain what that man did to Ramirez. Like I said, Ramirez was 48-1. He ain't 40. I mean, I don't think that one match is going to judge him. or I don't think it's going to deter him. It shouldn't. He just fought a better boxer, and he's really going from pound to pound. I think they said he's the first guy to win at 168, 175, and at 200 a belt. I think that's what they was trying to say. And I'm like, well, that don't sound right. But if he's the first one, maybe they meant the first like Mexican to do it, because that fight was really about the Cinco de Mayo fight that they do normally, but because it's gonna be a Tuesday, they gave it this weekend. And like I said, he put on a clinic, so I am not going to be shocked behind that. I'm not going to be shocked if I don't. Some people may be ducking him. From what I just saw, I wouldn't be surprised if Bivol don't fight him, because I don't think Bivol can. I don't think Bivol can answer what that onslaught that he had displayed this Saturday. I really don't. But my 33 brother, he's my boxing guy, so he can tell y'all better than I if Bivol would have a chance. I don't think Canelo will have a chance. I just think he's too old right now. I don't think he's in condition to fight somebody as uh boxing ready as Benavidez. To be quite honest with you. So we'll see what's going on with Benavidez. But like I said, if you didn't see that fight, I suggest you go ahead and look it up. Go ahead and watch a recap. I promise you, it's not that long. You'll get about 18 minutes worth of boxing. Just sit there and just watch as much as you can, and you'll understand why I'm saying Benavidez is that guy. Um, switching over to our other channel favorite thing, the WWE. I don't know if you guys saw it, but we see the MFTs lost two members, Tongaloa and JC Mateo, have been released by the WWE as well as the New Day. So now maybe they will give Talatonga some more run. I don't know what they're gonna do with the Yeah Man, but Solo is down to a 2-man show. So it's gonna be interesting how they do that. And we also saw Gunther make an appearance and put Cody Rhodes to sleep. So that's definitely gonna be one of the matches for Backlash. We know that for sure. Matter of fact, let me see if I can get Backlash matches so far. Saul Ruka will be joining the WWE the Raw roster tomorrow. We got Finn Balor going to be facing JD McDonough. Obafemi's. They may start the Obafemi challenge. We'll probably see Roman Reigns and excuse me, Jacob is gonna be signing the belt, side of the belt. Uh, they'll be signing the contract this Monday. Uh, trying to find who's going to be fighting. Get out of here. Uh, Roman versus Jacob. Trick Williams versus Sami Zayn. Seth and Breaker. Oscar and Io. and uh, Danhausen and a partner, if he could find one to fight the Miz and Kit Wilson. But I think they'll add that. They're going to add that. That match. Uh, Gunther and Cody. I think they add that to Backlash. But that's the card that they have right now. That's been confirmed. I think they did confirm. I thought they confirmed the Cody match, but I guess they didn't. So it's gonna be interesting to see how we go forward with this. Like I said, uh, you know, how many more people are gonna be cut? Like I said, we seeing people coming up from NXT. We see Ricky Saints. We saw Joe Henry get called up. Excuse me. That might be a little sneaky match, maybe. Or they maybe get, because Saturday night main event will be May 23rd. So they may put some matches on there as well. And then they'll probably go straight to Night of the Champions in June. So there's a lot of things that's going on in the WWE, but the way this is showing up, it's gonna be a little bit different. Uh, so we'll see what's gonna happen tomorrow on Raw. We will be back to highlight that. Like I said, we will be talking about we'll be talking about game ones in the NBA. You know, and that's just about it. As far as baseball is still going, and we see the Braves are looking good. My Metropolitans stinking it up. Well, I don't know what's wrong. I mean, I know what's wrong. They don't like. I just think they like money to make money. They'll spend money to make money, but won't put a productive team out there. And then they got mad injuries. Lindor is out. Ronnie Mauricio just came in and he's out. Yeah, it's just so many different things going on. So you know, but it's getting in the swing of things. And for those of you that are still here, we're getting ready for the NFL draft. Well, we just had the NFL draft. That's over with. They get ready to do mandatory mini camps and voluntary camps. But this channel we will be trying to put out a fantasy league this year. So you guys stay tuned for the information. We will really kick it into gear about maybe the beginning of June, so we can see how many people are going to sign up, and then we can go ahead and start planning for fantasy draft on the channel. Uh, to see, to get the draft so we can pick our teams and we can be general managers. We all think we got the answer. Well, it's time for us to show up, right? Let's build our own team to see if we got the answers. We ain't it's totally free. We ain't asking nobody to put no money up. We ain't telling nobody. There's a prize. The prize is the joining of a community, or joining of a channel. We could sit here, we could shoot the breeze like, dang, who we gonna start, who we not gonna start. You know, we get to see if we are better than Jerry Jones, or we better than Andy Reid as far as GMs and things like that, or we just talking because we watch football, or we talking because we think we know. It's time for us to show if we can do this or not, and this channel will be trying to give y'all the opportunity to do that. So you guys stay tuned for that. Um, and if all goes well, we may even turn around and do a NBA fantasy draft for the 20, almost said the 27-28 season, the 26-27 NBA season. We can do that as well. But participation is always going to be the key. It's up to you. If you guys want to do it, we can do it. You know, shout out to the sponsors that gave out today's sponsored today's scores and highlights. The 9% were better use a better us. They will be a part of our sponsors, our fantasy league as well. So like I said, we just get ready to rev it up and start running around and do the things that we need to do. But it's up to you. It's up to the chat. It's up to the subscribers. And if you have friends that they think they want to, they can come on too. Like I said, it's all free. We ain't charging nobody nothing. We just let you pick give your team give your team its name, pick your team, and we'll see who's the best out of these 18 weeks. And the winner is the winner. But like I said, we putting it out here now because the off season is here. But we're gonna talk about that more and more and more as the weeks get closer to the OTAs and things like that. We are here for it. And we will hope that you will be here for it as well. Um, with that being said, like I said, we'll be back in 23 hours, or close to 23 hours, to talk about what happened on Raw. Uh, there's any more matches that's going to be added, because we're literally 6 days away from Backlash. That'll be May 9th on, of course, their favorite channel, the Worldwide Network. Um, we're gonna see if there's gonna be any conflicts between Roman and Jacob for the belt at the signing. We get to see Soruka, Javon Evans, and Penta's gonna go up against, what the hell is their name? Ethan, is it Ethan Page? Ethan Page and Rusev. Be a match tomorrow as well. They probably, got some impromptu matches tomorrow as well. So stay tuned. Maybe we'll see Liv have an impromptu match again with Io. Or maybe Io and Oscar have a fight or something. But they're gonna have something to show us tomorrow. They're probably, like I said, they may add something from Raw. So if you don't watch it, I'll be able to update it. But I think it's best that you guys watch it so we can have a conversation tomorrow as well. But yeah, we pretty much touched on everything in the world of sports today. Uh, with that being said, I thank you all for coming through. Igor Perez, I hope that I hope your Lakers do get that championship. But like I said, we will be here. Miles_, excuse me. What's happening with you? Appreciate you stopping by. My 33 brother, always I appreciate you. My 9 brother, BDB. I see you up there. Appreciate you stopping by. But yeah, we'll have more talk about wrestling tomorrow. We'll talk about the second round tomorrow of the NBA playoffs. Okay. With that being said, y'all, from the Channel 9 studio, this is Mr. 33 signing off. I will see you guys in about 23 hours. See you then. I'm out.